Okay,
Cool.
so I have a database that has a table, and this table has 50 rows, and I want this to be in Gravity forms instead of in a table. And this is all random generated data. This is not actual people. So then I go to my website where I have Gravity Kit installed. And this is actually a demo site for the import entries. So if you go to gravityimport.try.gravitykit.com, you can run this yourself at the Gravity Import demo site that Casey created. So you go to forms. Okay, there's information about the new image choice field. Forms import/export. Import entries, and this is using import entries, our add-on, so you have to install it and activate it first. But when you do, you will be presented with the upload CSV field. I go to the database. Their database managers often have a way to export. I click export, and I export the table that I'm trying to export. I already did this, so it's already saved. So I'm going to go to my website, click this field, select the CSV file that I just exported from the database. And here's the cool thing. You can say create a new field, create a new form, new Gravity Forms form based on this CSV data. And I'm going to call it example for live because that's what this is. And now you see the same data here that was in the table plus database here. So the first name, last name, company rows, first name, last name, company rows. We get to choose here the field types in Gravity Forms. So by default, most things become a single line text. We try to parse it. Sometimes it doesn't work properly. That's the nature of data. But first name and last name, there's a specific field for that, and it's the name field. So I'm going to choose, and you might not be able to see that. I chose the name field from the field type. And you can now choose the different columns from the data set and map them to the fields, the inputs in a name field. So you can say first name mapped to the first name column, last name mapped to the last name column. And then do that also for the address field. And I'm selecting from an address field, and you get presented with the same thing here. Address line 2, city, state, zip, country I don't think is in the data set, save. And that will all these rows, the address, city, state, those will become mapped to a single field. Now, county, there's no field for that yet in the address field. So honestly, I don't want to import that. I'm going to click the little box that says do not import. I don't want the county field, turns out. Phone field has been mapped to a phone, same phone type input with Gravity Forms, same with the fax field, email field, and the web, I'm going to have be URL, website, there we go, website field type. So now that I've mapped the fields, I'm going to click continue with import. And if there are any errors, just keep on going. Or you can say, hey, I only actually want to import the data when the state is California. And we can do that here if we wanted to. You could say that only when the state is CA, and then it would only import the California data. But I don't want to do that today. You can also choose to enable email notifications. So if you want to backfill the notifications for like forms submitted, you could do that if you wanted to. Those will not probably run when you're dynamically creating a form though. So I don't think this field is accurate for this process. But create form and continue with import. And then view imported records. And then when you view, you can see there's a name field, an address field mapped the ways that we just configured it. And all that stuff is now available in Gravity Forms instead of in your database.
That's amazing. And it created that form automatically for you during the import process.
Yeah, and so if you have forms already existing on your website, you can choose to import into existing forms and choose the fields that a form already has. And you can also add additional fields to that same form that exists already. Or you can continue with creating a new form just like I showed. So you have the option to import into existing or creating new.